when you look at coming into this game, we got some things that we definitely need to work on and that we need to go through, and we're going to talk about that. Like, what are some of the biggest matchups coming into this game against the Washington Commanders? I think the one that you got to look up first that we have to look at is the defensive front. We have to have some solid production on the front of the defensive line. This is the best running attack in the game of football. The Chicago Bears are the second worst running defense in the game of football. We got to have consistent pressure. We got to find a way from the front four, the front seven, whatever it is. We got to find a way to be consistent in that, man. This is going to be a difficult one. Even though the Washington Commanders, Austin Eckler is out with a torn Achilles, that sucks. You look at their 7th round pick, Merritt as well. He's been playing pretty damn well for them, right? And so they got to get it together. You got to get it together when it comes to that. This has to be a game in which it can't just be the bend but don't break, but you got to get the key stops in the right areas. The Bears' run defense has been the weakest spot of the defense so far. TJ Edwards' return is going to help with that. And, that's going to help with that. Kyler Gordon is going to help with that. But it can't just be those guys coming in. Those are shots in the arms, great, but we need better performance out of Grady Jarrett. We need better performance out of Javon Dexter. That's been one of the biggest weaknesses of his game. We need better production out of that. And I'd go so far as to say this. I want to see some 3 linebacker sets with Noah Essingate, wrong team, with Noah Sewell out there with TJ Edwards as well, because Noah has been pretty solid in run defense. That's going to be an important part of all of this. And you got to look at that. You have to look at that. And then outside of that, I look at this not just to will it down just to Tyreek Stevenson, but Tyreek is the CB1 now. Tyreek versus Jaden Daniels. You cannot allow to go back to what you did in week 2, where you allowed yourself to get picked on like a rookie. You allowed a perfect QB rating. Best believe Tyreek Stevenson has a great 2 games in a row. He had some 2 questionable games as well, right? But you can't allow now Jaden Daniels or the offensive coordinator to say, hey, let's pick on Tyreek Stevenson early. Let's see which Tyreek we get in here, right? It'd be different if we had Jalen Johnson out there, but Tyreek Stevenson is stepping into the CB1 role, and the last 2 games have given a lot of promise for Tyreek. But watch out for this one. The corners versus Jaden Daniels are going to be really important in this one because they're going to try to. Cliff Kingsbury is going to try to find which corner he can pick on in this game. We have to have solid performance in our secondary, because if you allow Jaden Daniels to get in that rhythm, get in that in that mode, it's going to be difficult to slow it down. So you got to be prepared for that. And if you're not prepared for that, that's when the game could get completely blown up against you. So the Bears got to be locked in and ready to go on that one. And then on the flip side of that, Rome Odunze against the Washington Commanders cornerbacks. Is he going to be ready for that?